This is a review. I do reviews now. Reviews are cool. Cue intro.
Tumbling through 1,000 centuries, you don't know where you land. It's so dark in mythology. Treasures of history to be found. Hear the legends of time. All the handiworks remain. Only dream away.
So, oddly enough, this January, we got a new Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity 5, or the marked ones. Everyone's reaction was accordingly. But then again, there's really no one to blame but ourselves. We paid full-heartedly for this movie, and enjoyed it, and asked for sequels. I'm guilty of this myself. Well, when we're tired of poking the finger at ourselves, what are we to blame for the rise of home video cinema? Blair Witch Project? Yes and no. The last broadcast premiered a few months before the Blair Witch did, technically making it the first home video movie ever made. So why does no one talk about this and instead just talk about Blair Witch Project? If this movie is as important as it is, then why is it so overshadowed by Blair Witch? Well, I wanted to find out for the longest time, but Jesus Christ, this DVD took me forever to find. It wasn't until I went to a garage sale and just so happened to find it alongside other crap movies. God, the only way I could be more lucky in that instance is if I found the theatrical DVD of Amadeus right next to London After Midnight. We follow the documentary of one David Lee as he investigates the murder of the Fact or Fiction crew. All the evidence points to one Jim Sword, mainly due to the fact that he and the crew went on an expedition into the Pine Barrens in search of the Jersey Devil. Mr. Sword is the only one to survive. As the movie goes along, we piece together that the killer may not have been Mr. Sword, but someone or something else is behind the murder.
Why don't you do a show about the Jersey Devil?
Now, unlike Blair Witch Project, this is presented as full-fledged documentary, instead of just found footage edited together. Because of this, it plays out much more as a mystery. We eagerly await the result of all this digging. The whole film has this amazingly creepy vibe that resonates through the whole film, helped by the narrator's wonderfully monotone voice.
His characterization is a troubled young man responsible for a spree of horrific, ritualistic homicides in the Pine Barrens. The question in my mind was why? Why would a man commit such crimes?
Oh, for many reasons, Mr. Lee. Maybe to keep a secret, revenge, pure hatred, lust, jealousy, property dispute, financial dispute, political debates, urge to protect, ignorance. Not only do we get the found footage, we also get very thoughtful analysis of said footage, interviews, splashes of music here and there, and a real legend to play off of this time. With all this said, you might think that this movie is a near-perfect found footage movie, on par with Blair Witch Project, and maybe even surpasses it. It would. Oh god, if it wasn't for the ending. I'm putting a warning here right now. If you want to see this movie, stop right now. I'm spoiling this ending rotten. I really can't avoid talking about it. Near the end of the movie, though, we get an extra tape documenting the final night of the expedition, but it's all mangled and unrecognizable, so it needs to be restored. The important thing about this tape is that it might have the identity of the killer. As the rest of the movie plays out, we get more and more until we get a clear image of who is responsible, until we learn that all along it was... David Lee. He then kills the woman who restored the tape, and he goes to the Pine Barrens where he's in some sort of demented limbo where he and the body are never seen again. What? Folks, this ending is the main reason I wanted to talk about this movie. And with that said, there's a grocery list of things wrong with this scene. First off, the movie switches perspectives from a first-person view to now a third-person view, which I wouldn't mind because it's the first of its kind, but the transition is so horribly done. It doesn't make any sense why. Second, while I know it's an independent film and doesn't have the highest budget, what the hell is up with this? The twist, if you could even call it that, is Shyamalan levels of idiot. And yes, I know what you're all saying, I didn't see it coming, so therefore it's a good twist. Well, if that's the case, I think the nostalgia critic put perfectly when he said,
"Well, I wouldn't be able to predict if they all turned into snowmen of George Takei, but that doesn't mean it's good. It'd be more entertaining than this, but it definitely wouldn't be good."
You can complain how slow and tiresome Blair Witch may be, but you have to admit, at least it kept consistent. It didn't jump the shark like this. No, scratch that. This does a backflip over the shark. Remember what I said earlier in the review by this being more of a mystery than anything else? If the mystery ends up to a bad conclusion, then all it does is just make me feel like I've wasted my time. Looking at this ending, I realized what Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity did right. They kept the mystery alive. By not revealing too much, they allow the audience to make their own assumptions as to what exactly happened, what these creatures are. And by not showing these creatures, it makes us all the more guessing. Now don't get me wrong, everything leading up to this ending is perfect. My only problem is the ending. It ruins everything for me, and it really bumps down the movie in my eye. But that doesn't mean that I don't recommend it. If you're a horror movie buff or just a plain out fan for the Blair Witch Project, you'll get some enjoyment out of it. Who knows, you might see the ending in a better light than me. While it's not the best, I can appreciate what all it did for the genre. All I can say is give it a watch and see for yourself. And with that, my first review is complete. God, I hope this doesn't suck. If you want to suggest a movie for me to review, just leave it in the comments section below and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Everyone have a good night, keep safe, and stay away from woods, kids.